What is up, everybody? We're here for another edition of Fast and Turious, where we talk to HubSpot partners about their scale journeys. Today, I'm here with someone that's near and dear to my heart that we've spent lots of time with each other, both at Inbound and other places. It is Scott Flanigan, the CEO and owner of and founder of Squad 4. What is up?
Not much, Matt. I appreciate your time. Always love to hear your insights. Love that you're copying me with your beard length. I look like a mountain man for a little bit. So did you.
Yeah, we go back and forth on who's copying each other. So it's
It's true.
Yeah. Scott, what I'm going to this is your welcome to Platinum. I mean, you got
Thank
to
you.
Plat. It's been what we talk about today is how Scott got there, what he had to do. And if you're like a lot is Scott's not a big shop, but he does a lot with a little, and he provides a lot of value. And so we're going to talk about how he thinks about that, the challenges he faced, how he's gone through it. And I'm sure there may be some things that feel very, very familiar. So, Scott, one thing to note about Scott is Scott started using Super about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, like when we first came out doing lift and ship portal replication. And then he got really good at documentation. And one thing about HubScott, I call him HubScott. If you know one thing about HubScott, is this man is really good at technical writing and he's really good at using emojis.
I've cut back. I had an addiction.
He had addiction. No, he's really good at he was really good at doing digital adoption with Super in a way that he taught me how to use the platform that I have helped create. So thank you, HubScott. Okay, man, tell me, so how long have you been a HubSpot Solutions Partner? When did you start?
Since the inception of Squad 4 in 2021. Right after you started Supered, I started my big boy career as a technical writer. So it was the fusion of all the things I was doing in RevOps. Before that was the key buzzy tag word, or go to market. I was like, this is how we can serve one to many and leverage all that documentation and enablement and be able to take Batman's utility belt and hand it to our team members and other departments.
And what made you decide to become a HubSpot Solutions Partner? What made you decide to become crazy?
Yeah, I want to preach the playbook. I've spent tons of time in other CRMs, so Salesforce, Zoho. I'd spent a couple of years deploying enterprise systems and field service management with ServiceNow. I'd been in the HubSpot ecosystem helping small businesses, kind of in my little side hustle gig since 2013 or 14. And HubSpot was making all the changes to, eat Salesforce's lunch, go after, helping teams, get the full enterprise platform. So I was like, nope, this is the tool I want to use. This is the tool that everyone I interact with can easily adopt. So it was it felt like a no-brainer to me and us.
So you had a full-time job at some point here. You had a side hustle to 2013. Sounds like in your full-time you were interacting with a lot of different systems.
Mm-hmm.
That took you around Zoho and Salesforce and ServiceNow. You had a side hustle that you were helping just people in general, SMBs, which would often probably be HubSpot.
Little small businesses here and there do marketing.
And so as you saw HubSpot getting better, you're like, holy moly, I could probably go full time. What was the change in your mindset that went, I'm going to jump from a full time stable job with no payroll where I can just show up and clock out to I'm going to be a full time HubSpot Solutions Partner and go all in? What was the
Success is just gated failure over and over again. I had tried my hand working for myself for a year in the teens, and then like a lot of folks, I was a long-term contractor for an organization when COVID hit, and so that changed, and I was like, there's no better time than right now to go spin this up and take authority, accountability, autonomy.
So yeah, COVID did a lot of things. One of them was create businesses. There were a lot of consulting firms created during COVID because of you had contracts, and thus you no longer had it was not competing in interest to be able to do other contracts.
Yep.
Okay, so COVID in many ways was the inception of the business. I mean, it was a little bit similar when I started. When I started Red Partners back in the day, it was like right after COVID. So another feeling. Okay, so you started in 2021, and it is 2026. And when did you hit platinum in what
We
month?
just hit platinum in December of 2025. So I've been
Woo!
right on the cusp of gold for years. And as a small organization, we're lean and mean. Right, my core guiding principle is revenue per employee for metrics. So it's not about the badge or tier for us. It's about making sure we have great customers. We don't do a lot of marketing or branding because all of our business comes from referral and those types of things. So really excited about platinum. That was a benchmark that hit. Once you're holding that trophy, it hit
Yeah,
afterwards.
they're weighty. So when you get to home, they feel good. I like tiering as we're the fast and tiering because it's a lagging indicator of success. It's not necessarily the thing you should be going after, but it does like indicate a benchmark or some point in time. So you hit platinum and you're on gold. What I want to talk about the rest of this time is like like what does it look like to be a platinum partner? What does it look like? What obstacles? Because the business changes as you grow in revenue and as you grow in employees. There's a lot of hiccups and potholes you can get. Sometimes potholes can just totally destroy your car. You can't drive it anymore. So let's walk through this. As you're going through this journey, and this is helpful if you're comfortable sharing these things.
Sure.
The ecosystem loves you because people can finally understand. They can know like when you talk about how many employees do you have versus revenue you're at, what does that sit with? You don't have to give exact, you can, but just generally where you at?
Sure. We're 4 team members strong, 3 full time. We're just under a mil a year. So, right, appreciate the ecosystem so much. I still have three different partner agencies that all kind of started in the same time frame. Went through some of the same early challenges. We still share some back end insights. Obviously, keep our IP or special sauce close, but um, I wouldn't be here without some of those folks just constantly sharpening the stone or sharpening the sword.
So you went from 0 to a million or close to a million. So that's like congrats. That feels like that's like a big. It is. It changes. It's also different from being one person to being four to being 10. So talk to me. What are your initial challenges you face? So like I like to work in threes. What's a challenge you face? How'd you overcome it? What was the most difficult part of growing from a 0-person organization to a $1 million organization over the past 5 years?
I think right. It's how do you take your knowledge and share it with other folks? Wouldn't be able to do
Mm.
that. To use this opportunity and podium to thank Superd. I wouldn't be able to do that without tools like that. It's when you start an organization, you fill the wagon, and then if you're the only person pulling it, that you get into a vicious contractor loop. So that's definitely slowed me down multiple times. But I wish I had started earlier, documenting absolutely everything, especially in today's age of AI. Like that, show your work, show it all. Like changes the game and allows you to hand off other processes, practices, expectations to anyone you bring on and train them rapidly.
Yeah, there is a truth about service businesses and not having a service and a product business. A service business is about recreate, like your product is a person, and your ability to recreate people. And I'll call this. I'll call this out. Like there is going to be a great, actually, right now in the age of AI. Age of AI actually creates the age of execution, and there is a great uh, wave coming of services and service companies. And this is probably the best time in decades to be a service company because people feel confused and sad and don't know what to do and lost.
Hmm.
And so if you can replicate yourself right now and you have ideas or concepts or points of views and frames and metrics and methodologies, it's a great opportunity. So take his words. So question, how did you do that? You talk about documentation, but is there any specific tricks or tips that you're like, hey, if I was doing this again, I'll make sure I tell someone X, Y, Z.
Start with expectations first. Think about the finish line. I think the challenge for me was it's a constant. If you're serving and delivering for clients, constantly toggling between the macro and micro. Like plan out what does your 24, 36 month roadmap for a customer look like. Set those benchmarks. Then you work backwards into the micro. Like what specifically are we delivering? And then right, especially starting early. We didn't take any funding or we're entirely bootstrapped. So I wish I had leaned on other folks and fully adopted that much earlier on.
Yeah, yeah. There's something to be said about, and I'm pretty intense about this. If you ever worked with me or been around me, or you listen to the thoughts, is I believe that not just you start with the end in mind. So that yes, of course, project plan. If you start with the end in mind, I have like I define how you interact with people. So like if you're a person, like I expect you to write a recap afterward. I expect you to organize your thoughts in this way. I
Bottom
expect
line up front, every meeting has an agenda. You have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, don't be on the call.
correct
Just those
and
basic expectations, because as you mentioned, with service businesses, how do you productize that service? And then what is the feeling that your clients have after
exactly.
every meeting, every week?
Exactly. And I don't think, I think service, I think people, because often founders, I think sometimes founders are too humble and they don't realize, hey, the product is you and you must recreate yourself and how you make people feel. And you got to be diligent. You got to be a little bit tyrannical in a loving way at the beginning to scale.
Yeah, give
Okay.
people
So
space to learn and grow, but at the same time, you are kind of trying to reproduce yourself and others.
yeah, yeah. And if it's like, if you don't want to become Scott Flanigan, there's a lot of other service companies. I think there's like it's a weird thing to do, and it's hard to get over, and it feels weird. But
There's definitely a maturity and growth piece that I'm still learning, but
so what's number two? So we talked about, hey, I needed to. The biggest obstacle is from going from founder led to other people doing things and leading projects from the beginning to end and doing that well. What's number two?
number two, I'd say, obviously we serve in kind of a fractional boutique area, so we help customize. But so many organizations want to customize every aspect of their go-to-market engine or their CRM, and it's like no, 80%, 90% of the fundamentals of a CRM are the same for every single organization. Keep it simple, simple scales. So religiously pushing back and gatekeeping about here are the fundamentals we have to go through. After that, we can customize and apply specific strategies, technologies, and plug that in. But if we're customizing your entire CRM, then you're not in the business of selling your product or service. You're in you're in the business of creating a CRM. So pushing back against those things and managing and making sure other team members learn and adopt HubSpot the way it's intended to grow. That way, HubSpot, as they continue to release new products and services at a blistering rate, those all apply.
Yeah. So what I heard that this obstacle is you got to know what the 80% is. You got to have your point of view on that for you to be able to scale. And so it sounds like the obstacle is it kind of goes to the first. You're going to reproduce expectations in meetings. You then have to create, okay, what does 80% look like or 20%? And if you over customize and seeking money, you'll lead to failure. So how did you overcome this? How did you think about the creating modular deployments? How did you think about that? How did you deploy it? How did you overcome that obstacle?
Yeah, I've got experience, in project management in the past. So every part of HubSpot should be modular and plug and play. If I decide to, tear out one data enrichment solution or prospecting solution and plug in another one, how can I do that elegantly as things change?
Yeah.
So from deal pipelines to lead pipelines to automations to how we manage life cycles. Everything fits in a box. It's quarantined. If I need to make an update and deploy that and roll that out to someone, I can do that without interacting or impacting every other department or team. That goes for like prospecting lists for just about everything in HubSpot. So part of it's also just user management and permissions. Like, yeah, without rules, there's chaos.
Yeah, I talk to lots of HubSpot partners, and not everybody shares this view that you're talking about, which is they're like, I do, cause I help people build, and I think an unlock for HubSpot partners, and you might get to diamond, quite frankly, without this, but you will not get to elite, and you feel free to challenge me on this. It is the the idea that we do custom like hey, I help people fix their current HubSpot stack. That is not mutually exclusive with I have modular deployments and best practices I deploy into those things. You can have a pre-built HubSpot instance and still have 80% built that you lift and shift into their account. um, so I just say out loud for everybody that wants to hear it.
But often for clients we come into that have years of HubSpot build, it's build the new scaffolding, move it over, tear that old structure down, because things have changed so much. And the biggest thing is just with like structure, it's confidence that every step you take going forward is going to build on the last. Don't build a house on shifting foundation.
Yep. Yep. Number three. What's something else? You growing from 0 to 1 million. What's the third hardest? So we talked about first being getting recreating people. Number two is recreate almost like a processes, making sure you have the processes to get you 80%, so you can focus on the 20%. What's number three? What's the number three hardest thing? Maybe give me something really hard.
Ooh,
Like you
there's a whole bunch of little
didn't
pieces.
let you like keeps you up at night. Almost made me cut my beard. Whatever.
I did cut it.
Or made me grow my beard, whichever the one. Let's
Yeah, both.
okay.
Uh, Shoot, I would say, I mean, it's all kind of mentality of leadership, it's growth and maturity, but we'll get specific. I would say for a long time, as we were delivering and servicing clients, our HubSpot instance was, reminiscent of the cobbler's kid's shoes. So it wasn't perfect. It was a hard focus on making sure that our instance has we're eating all of our dog food. Like every single process is pristine, it's organized. That helped set not only the showroom that we can show off to clients, be like, here's how a prospecting motion should work. I can click 3 buttons and I'm immediately outreaching to people I know within a targeted list. In addition to that, every single team member that comes in and interacts with it knows that the digital house is clean. I keep it clean. Just how important that is.
Hmm. So you say the obstacle was getting to where your HubSpot itself was great, and that takes work outside of work, and so you
Our
had to.
own our own HubSpot, our own Supert, our own process documentation, like just everything.
Yeah, something to be said about if you can demo your own. I'm a big believer, and not everyone shares this belief. Again, I think I have a lot of beliefs, and everybody shares. But this is another one, which would be I demo my own HubSpot instance, even when I was a service partner, a solutions partner. I demo my own. So I demo my own Super, I demo my
Mhm.
own HubSpot, and there is no demo environment. There is only my environment. I may build something in a demo environment post, but like when you first see the demo, you see how I use the platform.
Yeah, it's just having 100% confidence. Like I know every time I hop on, I can hit a button and show what's live in ours. There's
Okay.
still there's still little issues that come up here and there, but
Yeah.
99.9% accurate and it's clean.
This next section I like to is give people advice. Now you've given one of these, which is what is something you would never do again. And so sometimes like something really painful, maybe a bad decision. It can be micro here. What's in this journey? Here's something I wish or I will never do again.
Oh, work with a client who primarily and wants to continue using Salesforce and help them continue to use Salesforce. We will help manage the integration, but I'm hands off. I don't want to touch that system.
Okay, so
Nor
walk
should
me.
I. I'm not the expert,
So
especially
you
with AIDS.
so you in the past have said yes to HubSpot. So you'd say yes to Salesforce if they had HubSpot.
Yep,
Okay.
we've
And
done
so
that.
you
Or
now don't. Why and what why are you, hey, I'm not touching that. Why what's that? What's that coming from?
it's not our expertise. Like I've spent a ton of time in it, but it's been years. I don't. It's not all cached. I don't want to. It also, like, the biggest thing, it just kills my time and energy. And my time and energy is intended to make sure that all of our clients are as successful as possible, and every team member learns the core systems we're using.
So thing about Scott and I, there's a it's easy to forget these things, but when you're at zero in revenue, you say yes to more things than you should,
100%.
because you have to. And so there's a survival instinct. Once you get to a certain point, you must say, and you always say there will be something I will never again do X, and you need to be able to say more and more confidence what those things are. And so it's cool to hear you say, "Hey, I'm never doing Salesforce again." It's a bit of a privileged place to be in, but it's one always earned through pain.
Yeah, absolutely. Revenue is number one. It's the lifeblood of an organization. Yeah, you have to have money to continue operating. Uh, but number two is just velocity. So
Yeah.
why would I dump a week into managing or trying to rebuild those skills that I had years ago when I know that I can move into other motions.
And Scott, for this is you're at Platinum today. You said it's not your number one goal, so your goal might not be getting Diamond. You may never achieve Diamond. It's not something you have on your something you're looking for a year. But if I'm talking to you right now and you're like, I'm about to pop some champagne, we're at the end of 2026, and me and you are with each other on a balcony, and we're popping it. What would we be drinking to? You would salute, and you're like, man, we did. Boop. What's your what's the thing you'd be really excited about? Often, what's the bet you're making and it came true?
The thing I'm most excited about is number one, hitting that 1 mil revenue mark, and number two, as we grew, right, we're lean, we're distributed, we're all remote. So I want to visit inbound with our whole team and be there in person and really feel the entire squad, the community, the culture that we're building, rather than solo being out at some of those.
Vince, and what's the big bet you're making this year?
Shoot. Let's see. It's not important, but I'll go for Diamond in 2026.
You're going what?
We'll go for our tier of Diamond.
Okay. So
by the end of 2026.
What's your bet would be? How are you going to get there? What's your big bet? I will get Diamond because I have focused too much on.
I have focused too much on entirely just finding the right fit clients. So we have two different offerings, basically our fractional leadership, go to market and RevOps. But also I think we can go toe to toe and punch above our weight with any sort of supered implementation or modular implementation for folks just getting started within the HubSpot community. So as our team grows and we have capacity and process and documentation and structure for everything, being able to help a lot of different organizations rapidly come up to pace there, and then help them internalize some of their own internal operations and team members to be able to manage that.
Okay, well,
I've got a solution package for you and the Supered team. Anybody wants to get on Supered, right? I want to make sure, cool, you have a knowledge-based structure, you have rules, you have everything to get started and take advantage of that.
Yeah. Don't give me, if I'm talking about Super, I want people running with expectations, a common set standard that is not document first, but is expectation first, behavior first. Okay, Scott, appreciate you coming. We're going to hit, but next time we're chatting, maybe into this year, same time next year, we are chatting about you being Diamond, hitting 1 million, popping champagne. I've met everybody at Inbound. It'll be a blast. Scott, appreciate you coming on Fast and Serious podcast, sharing your journey with others. Appreciate you. Thank you. If people want to talk to you outside of this, where would they find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You also hit up our website at squad4.io. Those are the best places. Your time's valuable. Want to spend a lot of time with my team. Look forward to spending a little bit more time with the community and other folks. Thank you again to all those partners who've been part of our journey.
Well, thank you, Scott. Stay awesome, everybody. Keep doing it big and never, ever, ever stop believing. Adios, everybody.